They said the sea kept its secrets. But what if it didn't want to anymore? The storm was only the beginning. Shoreline Secrets. Chapter 1. Salt on the Wind. The wind bet Jamie first. It carried the cold bite of salt and seaweed, and tugged at his sleeves, as if to pull him closer to the cliffs. He stood beside the car for a moment, staring at the cottage, small, weathered, almost swallowed by the wild grass. It didn't look like the kind of place that kept people safe. It looked like it belonged to the sea. Just for the summer, his mom had said. Somewhere quiet, somewhere you can breathe. Jamie wasn't sure how quiet was meant to help, but here he was. A man stood there, his great uncle, thinner than Jamie remembered, hair silvered, face lined from too many years of wind and sun. His eyes, the kind that have seen storms come and go, softened when he saw Jamie. But he didn't smile. He only nodded, stepped aside, and let Jamie in. Inside the house smelled of old wood, salt, and something faintly like smoke. A coat hung by the door. On the wall above, a single photograph in a cracked frame. A younger version of his uncle, a surfboard under one arm, eyes on the horizon. The man in the photo looked freer, or maybe it was just a way the light had caught his face that day. But his uncle didn't speak of it. He only closed the window against the wind and left Jamie alone with the hush of the house. Dinner had been quiet, too quiet, the kind of quiet where every scrape of a fork, every sigh of the wind outside, felt louder than it should. His great-uncle wasn't unkind, just used to the silence. And Jamie, restless in the stillness, felt like a guest in his own skin. He left the house, the air outside cooler, salt sharp. The sky wasn't dark yet, but the day was fading, the last of the light caught in the crest of the waves. He followed the path down. The cliffs rose on either side, the sea breezing steady beyond. And then he saw him, a boy, maybe a little older than Jamie, walking along the shore, barefoot, board under one arm, head bent, as though listening to something only he could hear. The boy wasn't in the water, not now. But the way he moved, it was as if the sea still held him. Jamie stood still, the wind at his back, watching as the boy made his slow way across the sand. The boy didn't look up. He kept walking, board under his arm. The seas pulled still in the way he moved. Jamie stayed there, the wind tugging at his jacket, the salt air sharp in his lungs. He watched until the boy was just a shape against the fading light. Then finally, he turned and made his way home. Inside the cottage, a wall seemed closer. A lamp glowed low in a corner. His uncle sat by it, a cup cradle in his hands. He didn't look up as Jamie entered. Or maybe he did, but only for a second. His eyes returned to the dark beyond the window, as if still listening for the sea. Jamie hesitated and left his uncle with quiet he seems to know so well. The morning came gray and quiet. Light filtered through the thin curtains, pale and cool. Jamie lay still for a moment, listening. The house creaked softly as it settled. The sea's voice always there beneath it, He breathed it in, salt and wood, and something older he couldn't name. Downstairs the cottage was empty. His uncle's boots were gone from beside the door. Out at sea maybe, or walking the cliffs. Jamie didn't know. The kitchen was small, everything worn at the edges. A pot of tea sat cooling on the stove, a mug left out beside it. Jamie poured himself a cup, the taste stronger than he expected. He stepped outside, the breeze cool against his skin. The cliffs rose sharp against the pale sky, the waves below breaking soft against the shore. Jamie stood there, mug in hand, watching the sea. And on the beach, far below, a boy, picking his way across the sand, board under his arm. The same boy. Jamie stayed still, watching until the boy disappeared beyond the cliffs. The silence stretched. The sea kept breathing. Somewhere down there, the boy was gone. Or maybe he'd been a trick of the light. The same way the sea sometimes made rocks into shapes, shadows into stories. Jamie shook his head. No, the boy had been real. He followed the path skirted the edge of the cliffs. The breeze stronger here, salt spray cool on his face. The grass grew wild. The world out here felt bigger and quieter. For a while, he walked, aimless, boots scuffing the stone, hands in his pockets. No plan, no destination. The path narrowed, the cliffs more sheer. Jamie stopped at the bend where the rock jutted out like the prow of a ship. He wondered if his uncle came here, if this was where the photo had been taken, the one with the surfboard, the boy his uncle had been. He wondered what it would feel like belong to the sea, the way the boy on the beach seemed to. His phone vibrated in his pocket, a notification sneaking through. Jamie didn't look at it. He stayed where he was, listening to the waves break on the rocks, steady as a heartbeat. When he finally turned back, the cottage waited, small and square against the sweep of sky. Smoke curled from the chimney now. His uncle was home. Inside, his uncle stood by the stove, pouring tea into 2 mugs. The same stillness in his movements, as if nothing could hurry him now. He didn't speak as he handed Jamie a mug, just met his gaze for a moment, flicker of something behind his eyes, then turned back to the window. The tea was strong, a little bitter. His uncle set his mug down. "Storm coming," he said at last, voice low. Jamie only nodded. He felt it too. Not just in the air, but in the way the house seemed to brace itself. Best to stay off the cliffs for now. Jamie didn't answer, just watched as his uncle's eyes stayed fixed on the horizon, the sea darkening beneath the weight of the sky. The house felt heavier now, the kind of heavy that came before rain, before thunder, before something you couldn't quite name. Upstairs, the rooms were small and spare. A narrow hallway stretched to a door at the far end. Wooden, paint chipped, a rusted latch at the side. The attic maybe. The air felt cooler here, the smell of salt stronger. Jamie hesitated at the door. The latch was unfastened, as if someone had opened it recently. He didn't open it, just stood there, the storm pressing at the walls, the house holding its breath. Jamie turned away, but not before glancing back once more. That night, the storm didn't come all at once. It crept in, soft at first, like a breath beneath the eaves. Jamie lay in the narrow bed, the ceiling sloping low above him. The smell of the sea stronger in the damp. The house shifted around him. Jamie turned on his side, pulling the blanket higher, listening. A sound, so soft he almost thought he imagined it. A floorboard above, the attic. He held his breath, waited. Nothing but the rain. And then, as the wind rose, the attic door, the door at the end of the hall, shifted with a long, slow sigh. Jamie closed his eyes. The house, the sea, the storm, all of them waiting, watching, holding him in the dark. Jamie stayed still beneath the blanket, the weight of it no match for the heaviness in the room. The house settled and shifted around him. Every sound felt louder in the dark. His phone lay face down on the small table. He didn't reach for it. There was nothing there. He turned onto his back, stared at the low ceiling where a shadow danced, with each flicker of lightning beyond the clouds. Jamie thought of the boy on the beach, the way he moved. And for a moment, he envied him. A floorboard above gave a single long creak, the attic door perhaps shifting in its frame. Jamie closed his eyes. The sound came again, soft but certain. A floorboard above, weight shifting in the attic. Jamie rose. The night felt thick with salt and rain, the house holding its breath. At the end of the hall, the attic door stood just ajar. A faint thread of light spilled out, thin and flickering, like the last breath of the moon. Jamie drew closer, heart loud in his ears. Through the gap, he saw him, his uncle's shadow, bent over something long and pale. The hiss of a zipper, slow, deliberate. The canvas fell away, and the surfboard emerged. His uncle stilled, slowly turned, as if he heard something he'd long expected, but hoped never to face. For a heartbeat, they didn't move. Two shadows caught between storm and memory. Then the uncle turned back, hands quick now, drawing the zipper closed with practiced haste. Jamie turned and fled, down the hall, down the stairs, not to his bed, but to the window at the front of the house. Outside, the sea waited, dark, endless, its breast steady beneath the storm. Jamie saw the boy on the shore, silent, slipping into the dark, and above him, the attic door shifted in the storm, as if the house itself was watching. Who do you think the boy is? And what do you think secrets waits behind the door in the attic? Share your thoughts below. And if you're ready to step closer to the truth, subscribe, like, comment. The storm is only beginning.